Joe Rogan is the gateway drug for young men that thought they were Democrats to become MAGA. Joe Rogan is the bridge. And on that bridge, they'll see RFK. They'll see Elon.
Joe Rogan just fired off a blistering takedown aimed directly at the hosts of The View. And this wasn't some polite disagreement. It was raw, cutting, and far from anything resembling a calm debate. Why now? Because Charlie Kirk just hit them with a massive $100 million lawsuit, and everything spiraled from there. Think you've seen TV drama before? Not like this. What's happening now is pure chaos, delivered with Joe Rogan's unfiltered commentary and signature edge. Once he starts digging in, there's no holding back and no safe zone left.
I think the problem with that show is that show has this very specific ideological bubble in which they operate in. You know, and they always bring on a token conservative woman and they yell over her and silence her. And, you know, they did that with Meghan McCain, and they did that with what is that other blonde woman from Survivor? Do you remember her, Jamie? She was always yelling. I mean, it's just, it's a bizarre show.
Charlie Kirk, founder and CEO of Turning Point USA and author of The College Scam, wasn't pulling punches either. When asked if he accepted The View's apology, his response cut straight to the core. I mean, regardless of whether or not I accept it, the question is, do our students accept it? Kirk stated. That's what really matters here. They went after our 5,000 students at the event, high school and college kids. He added, look, I get attacked constantly, but this went beyond me. And that's where the story starts to take a sharp turn. Charlie Kirk didn't just respond. He launched a legal missile. He hit The View hosts with a $100 million lawsuit. Yes, you heard that right, $100 million. That's not a typo. When your name gets thrown around on national TV like it's part of the punchline, and you've got the means to back up your next move, you don't sip tea. You go all in. This isn't just about clapping back. It's a declaration of war, dressed up in legal documents and backed by massive dollars. This lawsuit isn't just a tantrum. It's a warning shot across the industry. Don't take shots if you can't handle the fallout.
Walk away with it.
This Turning Point conference, the were in the front of out there in front of the conference with anti-Semitic slurs, and the cigar.
I think it's important that every single person that attended that Turning Point, every Republican speak up against these against the flags that were waved.
You let them in.
President, open your
You let them in and you knew what they were.
Right.
So you are.
It seems The View might have thought it was open season on Charlie Kirk, throwing accusations around like confetti at a talk show party. The vibe was less journalism and more like, you get accused, you get accused, everybody gets accused. But when Kirk pushed back and said enough was enough, things shifted into full-blown legal theater. And now, the hosts are scrambling. They're spinning it as daytime drama, calling it a simple misunderstanding over social media comments. But this isn't about tweets anymore. It's a $100 million problem now. And that type of legal heat makes your average reality show feud look like kindergarten drama over crayons. What started as a segment just turned into a lawsuit that's now making headlines. And if this keeps snowballing, things could escalate far beyond the TV screen. Throw every Republican in jail. That's the kind of line that sparked this fire. And just like that, in walks Joe Rogan, because who else? The voice of raw commentary, the man who turned podcasting into a full contact sport, has entered the chat. And his reaction, it wasn't just 2 cents, it was a full truckload of sarcasm. Watching Joe Rogan mock The View hosts felt like seeing a grizzly bear give a TED Talk on how to make honey. Brutal, unexpected, and strangely satisfying. His take? Picture a guy who normally debates alien theories and MMA fighters, now casually dismantling the high-pitched drama of daytime TV with surgical precision. It's like watching a master chef critique a microwave dinner, savage, efficient, and completely unbothered. Rogan's mockery hits harder because he's not playing by their rules. While the daytime panel leans into performative outrage and dramatic shade-throwing, Rogan's just throwing verbal haymakers and laughing while the chaos unravels.
So, I mean, The View has to be if you average out the View hosts, among the dumbest people on television. And so it's like they say the thing that people are thinking, but they say it very directly, so they expose whatever truth. But
I don't think some of them are dumb.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think Sunny Hosting.
You think it's deliberate?
I think she's ideologically driven, and they have blinders on for sure. I don't think Sunny's dumb, but Whoopi is certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out. It's like if you had an idea for a premise and it was totally baked and half baked, and you went on stage with it and it's nothing.
Just
there.
Go for it. Yeah,
there's nothing there. Sometimes comics do that.
And the contrast couldn't be clearer. The View thrives on loud opinions and choreographed tension. But when real legal smoke enters the picture, the volume dips fast. Suddenly, it's less bold talk and more cautious damage control. That's where the irony kicks in. Those who built their platform on aggressive call-outs are now sidestepping accountability like it's an Olympic sprint. Rogan sees through the performance, and he's calling it out without pulling any punches. He zeroed in on how the hosts often target others for bad behavior, while skirting any direct consequences themselves. And with $100 million hanging in the balance, this isn't just banter anymore. The stakes are real, and Rogan's voice just made it louder. Meanwhile, Charlie Kirk isn't just swinging around a lawsuit like it's a shiny trophy. He's sending a direct message about media accountability in a time where public platforms are used to throw accusations without expecting consequences. And that's exactly where this story gets even more compelling. The View hosts may act untouchable, playing the roles of daytime icons, but Kirk's $100 million lawsuit is more than legal paperwork. It's a mic drop. Loud, calculated, and backed by serious money. This entire clash has turned into a strange mix of media chaos, financial power plays, and a battle for public narrative control. On one side, there's a talk show panel that's thrived off controversy, operating like legal backlash is just background noise. On the other, a political figure with serious resources, stepping up and saying, "Not this time." And he's got 100 million reasons to prove it. Joe Rogan's commentary only turns up the heat. His mockery works like a spotlight, showing how bizarre the situation really looks when viewed from a distance. While the hosts project confidence and moral superiority, things quickly change once legal pressure hits. Their tone softens, and suddenly, that so-called moral high ground starts to shake. Rogan's blunt humor slices through the drama, revealing something deeper. Maybe the high ground isn't so high when it's stacked with defamation claims and legal risks. This entire situation has become more than a personality clash. It's a reflection of today's media world, where lawsuits are ammunition, outrage is currency, and viewers are locked in, waiting to see who folds first.
Do you see what Whoopi Goldberg said?
What'd she say?
Whoopi Goldberg said that Biden could arrest all the Republicans and put them in jail. You just need to see how unhinged this kind of thinking is. Well, you know what Joe Biden could do? Joe Biden, you have to see it, because it's so
on TV.
crazy.
She said
on television.
Just let's look at a scenario where the Supreme Court says, yes, he has all those rights. He is immune from everything.
Yeah.
You know what Joe Biden could do since he is presently president?
What?
Whoa. He could throw every Republican in jail.
Now, even Elon Musk has entered the chat. The View hosts find themselves caught in a spiraling media crossfire where their usual playbook, shout first, dodge consequences later, is being rewritten by legal teams in court filings. And if the $100 million lawsuit wasn't enough to rattle daytime's loudest voices, Joe Rogan's takedown made sure the sting was felt deep. Rogan's signature wit, paired with his no-holds-barred commentary, is the salt in a wound they didn't see coming. His observations don't just mock, they expose. Suddenly, the serious tone The View prides itself on is looking more like satire when held up to actual pushback, especially from someone who refuses to play by their media rules. For years, the hosts operated on a steady mix of theatrical outrage and selective criticism, choosing targets that wouldn't swing back. But Charlie Kirk's lawsuit, paired with Rogan's viral response, has cracked that model wide open. Now the selective outrage, it's under a spotlight. And it's not good for ratings when the fallout threatens real financial consequences. Viewers are watching in real time. A daytime drama with courtroom stakes and a podcast heavyweight acting as an unfiltered commentator. It's bizarre. It's chaotic. And it's the kind of spectacle that can't be ignored. What's most telling? The silence. No bold rebuttals, no fiery comebacks, no live TV showdowns. Just a quiet tension growing behind the scenes. Because shouting on TV is one thing. Getting hit with legal action while being roasted across platforms is another level entirely.
Megan, I get it. I also hate Joy Behar. So I don't love you, but I also hate that squawking bird. So I hate the whole thing. And frankly, that show, you want to talk about a show that set women back, is The View. You want to talk about that show. If the CIA is engineering, Antifa and fucking the Capitol riot, some crazy misogynist engineered The View, because there's nothing worse than The View. In terms of there are so many brilliant women out there. None of them are on The View. None of them have gone near the set of The View. I mean, they have brought in the lowest tier of the, what is it, the Y chromosome?
No, double
the
X.
Okay.
Double X.
They brought in the lowest of the double X's for that one. It's rough.
This isn't just another midday headline to skim over. This situation is a magnifying glass held over the modern media jungle, where outrage is ammunition, lawsuits are missiles, and every misstep plays out on a global stage. The battle between Charlie Kirk and The View isn't unfolding in isolation. It's happening right in the middle of a culture war so split, it might as well be a primetime reality show titled America Feud Edition. In today's media landscape, lawsuits have evolved into sharper tools than any Twitter argument, now used as political weapons in full view of the public. Forget old-school neighborhood disputes or simple media apologies. Now, when someone feels slighted on daytime TV, they don't just clap back. They drop a $100 million lawsuit. It's not just retaliation. It's a flex. It's a power move that screams, when the cameras stop, the courtrooms start. This lawsuit is a clear example of how the legal system has transformed into a stage for modern media warfare. Public feuds are no longer just heated debates. They're multi-million-dollar legal matches, with the courtroom acting as the new battlefield and only the wealthiest warriors left standing. What's fueling the fire? Media polarization. On one end, there are mainstream platforms like The View, which have mastered the craft of outrage performance. It's become a form of political theater, with the narrative always pointing fingers outward and rarely inward. The script? Always highlight how wrong the other side is, over and over. On the other end, figures like Charlie Kirk have flipped that script into a rallying cry. Turning every accusation into ammunition, he's turned viral moments into movement fuel, and now into legal action. What started as sharp commentary has escalated into a legal war front, where narrative control is just as important as any verdict. This clash isn't just a disagreement between two public figures. It's a full-blown systemic war over who controls public opinion. And it's coming in with the subtlety of a wrecking ball inside a glass factory. What we're seeing unfold is equal parts legal thriller, reality TV saga, and circus spectacle. It's that bizarre zone where news starts acting like theater, and theater tries to pass for news. One minute it's political commentary, the next it's a lawsuit that reads like the plot of a Hollywood blockbuster. The lines blur so much, it's hard to tell whether viewers should feel outraged, informed, or just grab some popcorn and enjoy the madness. And here's where it gets twisted. The average viewer is left staring at the screen, trying to figure out what's real and what's just a high-stakes performance. The lawsuit, the viral mockery, the legal press tours, it's all part of one carefully constructed media spectacle.
You watched the episode when Tulsi Gabbard got on to defend herself, and Joy Behar starts panicking and going over her notes while Tulsi is refuting everything that she said.
Yeah, I mean, Joy Behar, again, these people have dementia. These are people who like should not be allowed out of the house. They have a national platform. I mean, it is crazy. They have no idea. These people have never read like a book.
And there's versions of it.
From the courtroom drama surrounding The View to Joe Rogan's ruthless takedown, these aren't isolated incidents. They're scenes in a never-ending media soap opera where the lead roles are played by politics, television, and multi-million-dollar influence. And so, what happens next in this saga? Anything's possible, and probably inevitable. Maybe The View hosts decide to settle quietly, with a discreet payout and no further comment, because nothing says damage control like cutting a check and moving on. Or maybe this explodes into a drawn-out legal war, where every private message, tweet, and backstage rant gets dragged under the public spotlight. And in today's media jungle, the truth doesn't just come out, it gets amplified, monetized, and turned into a headline. Now picture the discovery phase, a legal deep dive that could unleash a flood of private emails, backstage recordings, and text chains faster than you can say, ratings boost. If this case makes it to court, don't expect dry legal arguments. Expect a media circus where every word is designed for headlines. Forget subtlety. This will be performance. Both sides are likely to treat the courtroom like a stage, armed with sound bites, carefully rehearsed statements, and leaks engineered for maximum public reaction. The courtroom won't just be a legal venue. It'll be a broadcast zone where every eye is tuned in. The View might attempt to polish their image, tightening their messaging, and maybe even dialing down the theatrics. But let's be real, drama has always been their foundation. This lawsuit isn't a departure. It's just the next storyline in a long-running show. And social media, it'll pour gas on the fire. Every meme, clip, sarcastic tweet, and out-of-context soundbite will be recycled, remixed, and reposted. Daytime TV just went nuclear, and there's no walking it back. Then there's Joe Rogan, the podcast heavyweight who doesn't just react, he ignites. His commentary is more than mockery. It's a warning shot. It tells everyone this isn't just a dust-up on daytime television. It's a real cultural battleground where reputations, influence, and dollars are all on the line. This lawsuit is a perfect storm, a mix of unpredictable media personalities, legal risks, and public spectacle. And in a world where influencer power and outrage run the show, the rules aren't written in legal codes anymore. One tweet can spark a war, one clip can shift public opinion, and one trial could change how media battles are fought going forward. One viral video can change everything. A podcast clip can instantly turn a serious lawsuit into a running national punchline. Nobody knows exactly where this will all end up, but one thing's guaranteed: it won't be dull. This real-life soap opera has all the right ingredients for a long, unpredictable, and wildly captivating showdown. Millions are tuned in, and every update is being picked apart, clipped, memed, and debated across every major platform. The View's lawsuit saga isn't just about media dollars or defamation. It's become a window into how public clashes are now weaponized entertainment. It's a front-row seat to the collision of brand power, personality warfare, and a media environment where the line between journalism and showbiz is vanishing fast. And in this war of hashtags, hot takes, legal threats, and savage takedowns, no one's leaving the arena without a few bruises. The chaos is far from finished. Joe Rogan's mic is still hot. Charlie Kirk's legal squad isn't backing down. The next phase promises more courtroom drama, more viral commentary, and yes, more roasting. The only real question now is, who's getting dragged next? And here's the twist that keeps it all interesting. This saga is a brutal reminder that the tables can turn fast. One day, you're driving the headlines. The next, you're dodging subpoenas and trending for all the wrong reasons. On a podcast that usually talks about elk meat and extraterrestrials. Karma doesn't need a script, it just needs a camera and a strong Wi-Fi signal. So what does all this mean for the future of daytime TV and the broader culture wars? Maybe, just maybe, it signals a hard reset. For anyone still thinking that throwing shade and making wild accusations comes without consequences, Charlie Kirk's $100 million lawsuit is the ultimate financial wake-up call. It's a reminder that while opinions may be free, Reckless allegations can come with a serious price tag. And Joe Rogan's mockery? It's become a blueprint for how media outsiders can hold the loudest voices accountable, with wit, precision, and zero filter. No safe spaces, no apologies, just raw, unfiltered commentary that cuts straight through the noise. This story is a perfect blend of legal warfare, media theatrics, and cultural commentary. On one side, a conservative activist with pockets deep enough to shake up the daytime TV industry. On the other, a panel of hosts who built a brand on outrage and hot takes. Add in a podcast titan like Rogan, who's never been shy with his roast sessions, and it becomes a pop culture collision with national attention. And the audience? Glued to the screens, popcorn in hand, watching every twist unfold in real time. So the next time The View decides to toss allegations around like confetti, they might want to think twice. Because this time, someone threw back, legally and publicly. The message is clear. On today's media battlefield, the loudest voice isn't always the one that wins. Sometimes it's the voice with the sharpest wit and the deepest legal resources. And The View? They may want to rethink their playbook before the next courtroom headline breaks. Because Joe Rogan and Charlie Kirk just proved that daytime drama isn't just about ratings anymore. It's about real consequences. If you want to stay locked into stories like this, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell, because the next bombshell could drop any moment.